Hey everyone, welcome to High School Dropouts Advice. Today I want to talk with you about Bitcoin, and I want you to consider Bitcoin as part of your investment portfolio. But I also want you to understand that we are standing in front of a new age of digital infrastructure. A new age always opens new opportunities for investment, for building generational wealth. And I'm not talking about trading cryptocurrencies. I'm not a big fan of trading, but a big fan of generating wealth. So my approach will differ from a trader. Please subscribe to my channel where I talk about stocks, investment opportunities, and building wealth in general. And if you don't like what I have to tell you, then you still can unsubscribe later. Most of my viewers and subscribers know me from my stock videos, but I'm also holding a large investment in real estate and Bitcoin. Let me explain Bitcoin for a little bit without going too deep into the technical details. There is a general misconception. First of all, Bitcoin won't be a new currency. For being a currency, Bitcoin is too unstable and a little bit too slow compared to other cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is still faster than fiat transactions and was considered to be a currency at one point. You know that the credit card transaction takes days to process, and it takes days to transfer money from one currency to another currency. Because fiat money is so slow, we have invented MoneyGram and Western Union. But this is only a temporary solution. We have other cryptocurrency coins called stable coins, which will be the next electronic money. China is already creating its digital currency, as you can see here. They are faster than Bitcoin and are not as volatile. So they will be a better option, acting as a digital currency. So there's no question that we will move into a world with digital currency. Let me use the history to help me explain why our currency in the future will be digital. In the Stone Age and early civilization, we use trade to exchange goods. We exchange wood for fur, tools for meat, and so on. You get the idea. But later, when civilization gets bigger, they use easier to carry valuables to exchange goods like gemstones, metals like gold, silver, and copper. Then they made them into coins so they can be easier stacked and carried. Later, we have the invention of paper money, which allows us to trade with each other more comfortably and faster. So people don't need to carry a bag of coins anymore. Those paper money were backed with gold. The wire transfer and transfer of money in general is still very slow in our age, but compared to the past, very quick. But we are humans. We want it to become faster and faster until it's instant. Bitcoin settle payments within minutes to hours, but we already have cryptocurrencies that are nearly instant. So does this make Bitcoin already a loser? The answer is no, but to give you the full explanation, it will take a while. At the beginning, our fiat money was backed on gold until we print more and find ways to leverage those gold reserves to print more and more money. When we print more money than there's gold to back it up, the system is broken. In our case, Bitcoin has become a new gold, a digital gold, which only has a limit of only 21 million coins. When experts say the Bitcoin cannot be a currency, they are right. Bitcoin cannot be a currency because it's not optimal to act like one because of the way it was created. A Bitcoin structure makes it slower than other cryptocurrency coins, and Bitcoin can fluctuate in value. At this point, you might agree with me that our currency will go digital. You still might not agree with me that Bitcoin is an asset, and because it's an asset, it's also an investment. But let me explain this. There are already many people who accept Bitcoin as a store of value, digital gold, an asset class, and an investment. It's impossible to change the mind of so many people. For those people, it already has value. Let me give you an example here. A painting of Picasso might be only some color on canvas, but because so many people see value in it, it will reflect the people's value in its price. the price is often in the several millions for a Picasso. The same is with Bitcoin, which market cap is close to 1 trillion at the time of recording. Amazon is at 1.5 trillion for comparison. When people have faith in it, it's impossible to erase it and get back to zero. People sometimes compare Bitcoin with religions, and you know how difficult it is to eliminate a certain belief and faith. I also understand it's difficult to convert people, but we are lucky. This is a finance channel and not a converting to a Bitcoin channel. So all we want to do in this channel is increase our wealth. The beauty of Bitcoin is we have 21 million of it, and you can own as little as 0.00000001 Bitcoin. In other words, you can own as little as 1 of a millionth of a Bitcoin. So this means all humans being can own some Bitcoins. This would not be possible with a Picasso painting, or at least it doesn't make sense. Now that you know Bitcoin got a strong group of believers and more are going to join, and the value of Bitcoin will go up regardless of your belief, we should see it as an investment based on the growth it receives. We don't need to be a Picasso painting collector or appreciator if we know that we can invest in it and store and create our wealth. I think everyone should at least own 0.1 Bitcoin. For some it sounds like a lot, but it's okay to buy it over time and on the dips. I think we are reaching a point where it will be more punishing for people not owning Bitcoin than owning them. Even if Bitcoin goes to zero, it will not hurt you as much as if you are not part of Bitcoin when it manifests itself as the new gold of the next centuries. The rich get richer is what many people say, but here is a chance for people to get ahead of the game. Here is a new wealth distribution. You can compare this with the mid-1800s when oil was discovered. Not many people knew what to do with it, but they knew it had value once they realized it can be used as an energy source. This is when the oil price has exploded and it's used until today. The same is with blockchain technology, but also the acceptance of Bitcoin being the new digital gold. And if you don't accept Bitcoin as the new digital gold and the new way of digital value storage, then please accept that a lot of people are accepting it as a digital storage for value and consider being part of it. As said, being not part of it will hurt more than it goes to zero. You live in an age where you can be ahead of others and build generational wealth if you stay invested in those changes which are coming. This is like being a modern day Carnegie who invested in railroads, oil, trains and bridges. We see that an infrastructure investor can make an immense fortune. So will be the investors of a digital infrastructure. The wealth will be newly distributed. The holders of Bitcoin will see a stream of fiat money flowing into their ecosystem. Once this ecosystem is established, the coins they hold will have an immense buying power. The people who hold onto old fiat money will lose the opportunity to multiply their buying power by being early in the new ecosystem. We all agree that the ecosystem has only 21 million coins, and if you want one coin today, it's already 50,000. And we all know Bitcoin traded for dollars when it started. So you can imagine what the coin or fraction of a coin will cost in the future. So being early and holding it, it's the key to generate buying power in the new digital ecosystem. It's funny to see that the investment into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency decreases the inflation rate because the money that gets printed will be taken out of the system and flows into the new digital system. The more they print, the more it flows into the new system. There are just too many people who don't believe in the old system and take the old system's resources and put them into the new system. This is the transfer we see from history repeatedly when humans started accepting the new. But this is the first time in human history that we start with the end product. This is like you can own a big part of printed, ready to use cash, before humanity decides to leave their gold coins at home. This creates another dynamic. The dynamic that early Bitcoin holders will gain a lot of buying power when more and more people are flowing in the system. The bigger the network and the ecosystem becomes, the more valuable the coins becomes. You can also describe it that Bitcoin cannot inflate but only deflate. And owning a big chunk of it, it's easier now than it will be in the future. There's no inflation after all Bitcoins are mined, only deflation. We have around 18 million coins in circulation today, and the limit will be at 21 million. Many people have lost their Bitcoin, so there will be less in circulation. So I want you to understand this dynamic. This is why I give you another example. 100 years ago, it's very difficult to become a millionaire because it's hard to earn $1 in the past, because there were fewer dollars in circulation. But over time, the government print more, so more and more dollars were in circulation. Now 100 years later, it's not challenging to become a millionaire because there is so much dollar everywhere. But the buying power also decreases. 100 years ago, you can buy a nice house for several $1,000s, but now you can only buy a used car with it. The dynamic with Bitcoin is the opposite. You can own a lot of Bitcoin for little money, but the stronger the networks get and more acceptance Bitcoin receives, the less Bitcoin is on the market and the more expensive it gets. The buying power of Bitcoin was weak. You might have read the news that people eat sushi in the early years of Bitcoin and pay a couple of hundred Bitcoins for it. The buying power of Bitcoin will only increase. It sounds extremely bullish, but I'm the opinion Bitcoin will absorb the buying power of the world's currency. So having 100 trillion market cap in Bitcoin is realistic when you give it enough time. More and more money will flow into Bitcoin, which gives Bitcoin more and more buying power. More and more fiat money will fail and people will look for a place to store their value, which they see in Bitcoin. During this transfer, Bitcoin increases its network, expand its ecosystem, and increase its buying power. At one point, Bitcoin is so huge and the network is so comfortable to use that people will transfer to it entirely. You might remember the early days of the internet when it takes a couple of minutes with your modem to build a connection, and then buy a book when you were lucky and there was an online shop that had the book in store. In most cases, it was easier to drive to your local library or bookstore and buy it. But 10 years later, this bookstore became Amazon and you can buy everything online and you don't need a PC and a modem anymore. You can do it with your cell phone. The same will happen with Bitcoin. We are in the early days, but if you keep your Bitcoins for 10 years, you for sure can retire. One thing I want to add at this point is that too many people are losing money with cryptocurrency because they are trading for short-term gains. Cryptocurrency is very volatile because it's so new and the market caps are so small. No matter how good your technical analysis is, news and all those noises around can pull it in any direction within minutes. So investing or transferring resources from the old system into the new digital system should be for a lifetime. It's like preparing your money to be digital and you will use the funds within that network in the future. It's like transferring money to the moon or the Mars, and once you arrive at the moon or Mars, you have the money ready for you to spend. But too many people are jumping back and forth to accumulate the old currency and sadly often fail to do even this. It's like investing in a railroad, but ripping out the iron trails because the iron price went up. This is like you don't believe in the railroads and trains, and you don't want to be part of this new infrastructure. The infrastructure will provide you buying power because you are already holding their currency in your hand. So don't worry about it. You will get your Lambo. Please, traders and investors, understand you are investing into a new network and a new infrastructure where your coin is the new currency. You use the new currency to buy the train, to operate it, to sell, to transport, or whatever you want to do with it. on that infrastructure and network. By holding on to your investment, it will create more buying power in that network than switching it back to inflating fiat money. There's still the widespread belief that let me sell my Bitcoin at 1 million and buy my dream home. In the future, there is no need for that. You will buy your dream house with 0.1 Bitcoin directly. If we buy a home today with fiat money, we won't trade it into gold bars and go to the sellers. The same is with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain in general. So I hope that I could clear things up in this video to understand better what is lying in front of us. Anyway, for legal reason, I have to say I'm not a financial advisor, so remember, your money is your responsibility. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Please do your own due diligence and try to make the wisest move so you and your future generation have it a little bit easier. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Many thanks. See you hopefully in the next video. Thank you. Bye.